Hi, welcome to this week's educational screencast. I'm your guide, Paul Anderson. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that at Paul Anderson. Remember, it's S-E-N. If you want to send me an email, it's paul@theboldstandard.com. And if you want to find me on the internet, it's at theboldstandard.com. The subject of this educational screencast is theboldstandard.com. What is theboldstandard.com? Best way to describe what it is, it's just a dream that a number of teachers and I have. What I've found, and I've taught for about 15 years, is that each year you get that new thing that's going to change education, and then you get the next year the new thing that's going to change education. And what I found is that none of that really changes education. And then over the last maybe 2 years, I've found something that really does, and that is technology. Just like social learning and social environments and things like Facebook and Twitter have changed our lives outside of the schools, they're changing the schools as well. And so things like Moodle in my classroom have really made a difference. And so at our school, a number of teachers decided, hey, let's kind of throw the discussion that we're having inside the school, let's throw it out to the internet and see what people think. And that was born the Bold Standard. And so what is our hope? Our hope is that it's a place where teachers can come and students can come and administrators can come and parents can come and everyone can come, and we can have a discussion about how education can really make some fundamental changes through the use of technology. And so this podcast is an example of that. What I find online is that if you have a group of like 10 people in a room, that works good. But once you get that on the internet and they're all asynchronous, you can't really have much of a discussion. If we bump that number to 50, it gets a little better, but if we could bump that number up to like 500, then you get really cool discussions. And so we kind of base it around what do we like on the internet. And the two things that I like on the internet, number one, are really good ideas. And so we've set up a blog area where authors can come and they can post their blogs there and then comment on other blogs. And we have blogs that are written by teachers, but also those that are written by students. And so we hope that that grows. And so good ideas is one thing that you're always going to hear at the blog, the Bold Standard. The other thing that I really like on the internet is good content. And so Educational Screencasts is the first podcast that we're producing, but we hope to produce a bunch of podcasts. And so that kind of brings teachers and brings students here to kind of talk about this. And so those are the two things that kind of hold it together. If you were to click on blogs, and so go to theboldstandard.com, if you were to click on blogs, it's going to have a list on the left side of all the current bloggers. So right here, like here are my blogs right here. We could click on that. And then it's going to have listed in reverse chronological order. So here's one, me writing about Google Wave or about my summer vacation. And so blogs will be there. You'll notice that you didn't have to register to get there. Everything on the website is accessible to everybody that comes without registering. It's all licensed under the Creative Commons copyright. And so the idea is that we just want to get good ideas out there. Now, let's say that you want to register. Registering is really easy. And what does that give you? Well, first of all, you just register by putting in your names. You have to authenticate your email address before you can register. But once you register, then you kind of become part of the community. So I'm going to log in and show you what that looks like. So now I'm logged in, and you'll see there are some other things that show up. For me, for example, forums show up, and I have access to forums that not everybody else does. I could post photos, for example. But again, everything, those two big things, podcasts and blogs. So here's the only podcast we have so far, and blogs are going to look exactly the same once I've logged in. Now, another thing that we're trying to get with the Bold Standard is to kind of get the social environment going. And so you'll see that it shows recent activity, like here are new people that signed up. Here's somebody who entered on the blog. So this is Scott. If we click on Scott, and Scott's a teacher, has a great picture of Scott right here. I can make a connection to him. It shows me his activities, shows me additional information like where he's found and connections that I have to him. And so that's kind of cool. And so it gives us that kind of a social environment. A few things that I'd like to kind of point out. So now that I've logged in as Paul Anderson, I could go to my profile, and it has information about me. And so now I can make changes to that. So if I go to edit, I could update my image and upload an image. So this is a picture of me. I could also update my profile and so make changes about me. So like recent activity, contact information, additional information. So I can make changes like that. And then I can also kind of keep track of all those connections that I have. And so that's the first thing that I would kind of go once you've logged in. It also has a list of all the current members that we have. And it's early, but we only have 23 members so far. And so we hope to kind of get that growing. And so we are counting on you to spread the word. The blogs are pretty cool as well. And so since I'm an author, I can write my own blogs. And so here is like my blog on summer vacation, my summer vacation resolution. So I wrote something about that. A few other people have then commented on it. And so once you're registered, then you can write a comment. So you can just type in something here, you can post it. And so that's one way that those ideas can kind of keep bouncing on and on and on. Eventually, though, after you've made enough comments and you've participated in the forums, you might feel like, hey, I want to write a blog of my own. In order to do that, I have to authenticate you as an author. And so if you send me an email, paul@theboldstandard.com, and tell me a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to write a blog, I'd love to set you up as an author. And once you're set up as an author, then you can start writing a blog of your own. And so I'm an author, and so I get this new little block on mine that says you can write a new entry. So if I click on that, it brings up this nice little interface to write a blog. The only regret I have with this is that it doesn't really save as you go. And so you want to make sure that you're saving as you go and then opening it up again, or maybe writing your blog in another word processing document and then bringing it in. So let's say I want to write about podcasts. Maybe I want to write a blog on that. It's got a really nice, what you see is what you get kind of interface right here. One thing that I would encourage you to do is add a tag to it. And so maybe this is going to be about podcasts. So I'm going to write podcasts here, and then I can add that as a tag. And so now that blog can be searched, and I can write a bunch of information about my blog. And then I just click save, and then it's going to add that as my blog. And so it's going to keep kind of a roll or a blog roll of all my blogs as I go. And so you're kind of participating in this dream, this bold standard idea of making education better. So that's kind of cool. One little bit I wanted to talk about before I kind of let you go today is, how did we make the bold standard and how does it work? The whole thing is built on an open source piece of software called Joomla, and I'll probably talk about that in the future. Joomla is similar to another one which is called Drupal, and similar to another type of software called WordPress. You've maybe heard about that. And the neat thing about it is that it has this nice front end that you can see, so the one that everybody gets to see. But if I want to make changes to the website and I have permissions to do that, I can just click on this, and then it's going to bring up a nice little dialogue, and so I can make changes to that page. The nice thing about that is I don't have to know anything about how to do web programming or HTML or any kind of coding like that. You can see that I can make simple changes to it like this. I can click save, and then it's going to make changes to the website itself. And so if I kind of reload this page, you'll see that it now has welcome right here on the bottom. And so we can have people kind of contributing to this website and making it grow and grow and grow. And they don't have to know anything about programming. So that's kind of cool. The back end is where we do most of these changes. It's pretty simple to do that. The nice thing about it is that, let me log in here for a second, is that you can make wide scale changes to the whole website, and it takes no time to do that. And so maybe I don't like the layout of it, and I want to have a different layout for the bold standard. I could just set this as the default theme. I can then save that, and then as I reload it, the website gets a whole brand new look. So it's got another theme on the outside of it. And if I go to different pages, it's going to show that same theme throughout. And so again, I didn't have to know anything about programming. And so again, that's called Joomla. And the whole thing is built on that, with the idea that we want it to be as easy as we can. And that we also, again, want to use that bold standard. Let's make it open source and let's make it free. And so that's my tour of the bold standard. Hopefully I haven't exceeded those 10 minutes, and I hope to see you online.